We bring you the lunch edition of MBC News with me, Obile Gaisa. Our top stories. President Mutharika commends the Malawi Red Cross Society for its significant contributions to human disasters and emergency first aid across the country. Malawi hails the European Union for supporting the country since the establishment of bilateral relations between Malawi and the European bloc. In this week's special report, MBC highlights the untold stories of maternal depression, revealing how grief, fear and silence are shaping motherhood in Malawi. And now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has commended the Malawi Red Cross Society for its vital contributions to disaster response, food security, water and sanitation, and emergency first aid across the country. Speaking at Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe during the official launch of the 2026 Red Cross Flag Week, the President praised volunteers for their selfless service and urged Malawians to bolster these humanitarian efforts through donations. Details in this report.
Speaking during the official launch of this year's Red Cross Flag Week to mobilize resources for Malawi Red Cross Society operations, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika paid tribute to Red Cross and Red Crescent volunteers, describing them as dedicated individuals who bring hope and compassion to those in crisis. He noted that their sacrifices, often made at great personal risk, embody the true spirit of humanity and national unity. The President emphasized that the work of humanitarian responses has become increasingly critical in the face of rising global challenges and natural disasters. He therefore stressed the collective responsibility to protect and support those who risk their lives to assist the vulnerable.
I want to appeal to, as I said, to all Malawians to dip into their pocket as much as they can to see what they can do to help, especially now, these last few years and the future are going to be years of disasters. And we just have to find a way ourselves. Every country has experienced disasters, so we cannot always depend on other countries. We have to do it ourselves, and so forth. Every country is facing challenges. So we are based on our own, and we try to do that. As I said, in Dodma and the Department of Disaster, we're trying to do some preventive measures, like flooding perhaps. When I was in China, they took me to an area where it will be flooded all the time, but now they have built dikes, but they're so, it's near Anhui, the province, are so effective that they reclaimed the land also for farming and so forth, irrigation. We'll try to do that.
In his remarks, Malawi Red Cross Society President Innocent Magia expressed gratitude to the government for reinstating financial support in 2018 after a 2-decade hiatus, describing the move as a lifeline that has significantly strengthened the society's operations.
This support is a lifeline that strengthens our capacity to respond to disasters, promote health and resilience, and uphold the dignity of those in need. It is a clear demonstration of your leadership, recognition of the vital role the Red Cross plays in complementing national efforts to safeguard lives and livelihoods.
Maim Tumodzi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Meanwhile, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has assured Malawians that his administration is working tirelessly to resolve current challenges affecting the country as quickly as possible.
First of all, let me take advantage of this meeting to say one or two things about fuel. I think the fuel situation has pretty much improved now. It's almost, I think, stabilized. As we promised, stabilize, to ask people to be patient, as I said. We're working on long-term programs, and of course, I announced yesterday a 6% drop. Now, some people say it's not enough, but it's not mirror. It's a law in terms of the 4 F's I think food, fuel, fertilizer, and forex. I think food and fertilizer were pretty much managed zones. They are now under control. Nobody died of hunger or eating kiteze or nika or whatever. So that one is managed. We have the food security now. And there's no question that this coming year we're going to have a good harvest. So there we're taking control. Fertilizer, we're going to manage differently this year. We're going to start quite early, and that will be taken now. Forex, that's a challenge because the whole global economy is unstable financially. It's not only Malawi, it's unstable, so it will take some time. In 2014, when we came in, the economy was in doldrums. It was about 12 months to stabilize, 12 to 18. Now the economy is worse than it was then. It may take a little bit longer. So I want to ask people to be patient, especially some disgruntled politicians, so-called leaders, who are, I think, trying to create an unnecessary disgruntlement. That we'll work on this. We're working on it with our partners, both private and public, and international and domestic, and in due course, we'll solve the problem. I can assure you that.
President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika and the First Lady, Professor Gertrude Mutharika, say they are saddened with the passing of former President of Botswana, His Excellency Festus Mogae. In a statement, the first couple said it will remember late President Mogae for his leadership towards economic development in the Republic of Botswana and his invaluable contribution to the African Union and the Southern African Development Community SADC, and for his strong passion towards the region's economic integration and stability. The statement further says President Mutharika and the First Lady joined President of Botswana Advocate Duma Gideon Boko, the former First Lady Madame Barbara Jema Mogae, and the bereaved family, the government and the people of Botswana in this very difficult time as the nation of Botswana mourns its icon and father. Meanwhile, former Malawi President Dr. Bakili Muluzi has also expressed sadness over the death of the former Botswana President Festus Mogae, saying Africa has lost a statesman of the highest order. In a statement, Dr. Muluzi said the late Mogae was a great man, not only for Botswana, but for the entire continent. Dr. Muluzi further said he had the honor of knowing the late Mogae personally and privileged to have worked with him when the two were serving their respective nations. According to the statement, the late Mogae was a leader of rare integrity. Dr. Muluzi therefore said he is extending his most heartfelt condolences to the late Mogae's wife, daughters, and the entire Mogae family, the government and people of Botswana. First Lady Madame Professor Gertrude Mutharika has encouraged members of Lions Club International to continue supporting the underprivileged. She said this when she officially opened the 2026 Multiple District 412 Convention of Lions Club International in Salima District. Madame Mutharika said the work of Lions Club has a huge impact in areas of service like health, environment and humanitarian. More into Modzi reports.
First Lady, Madame Professor Gertrude Mutharika, has described the 2026 Multiple District 412 Convention as more than a meeting, but a sanctuary for leaders in humanitarian service that aims at reflecting on the collective impact to fortify partnerships and to renew sacred vow to community development. Madame Mutharika said the efforts of protecting the environment, empowering the youth, providing urgent disaster relief, and championing humanitarian services do not go unnoticed.
The impact of Lions and Leo's work across our 4 countries is immeasurable. Here in Malawi, the Lions have been a pillar of strength during our darkest hours. We remember your presence during the devastating floods of 2015, 2019, and Cyclone Freddy in 2023. From Cholo and Mulanje to Chikwawa Kota Kota, and Karonga, you did not just bring aid, you brought hope. Beyond disaster relief, your footprint is marked into the very health of our nation. The significant investments made through Lions site-based hospitals in Blantyre, Zomba, Lilongwe, and Mzuzu have restored the gift of sight to thousands. The theme for this year's convention, Synergy in Service, is both timely and transformative. It reminds us that the effects of an individual act of kindness is not as strong as when collective action is done.
On his part, past International Director of the Multiple District 412, Lion Hastings Chiti, saluted the First Lady for establishing the Beautify Malawi BEAM Trust. He said by establishing BEAM, the First Lady has shown that she has a heart to uplift lives of the underprivileged.
First Lady with so many duties to perform, you also have a trust that looks after a number of people, the Beauty Malawi Trust. We just congratulate you that already this shows that you have a bigger heart than that of a normal First Lady in this republic.
Over 200 delegates from Malawi, Mozambique, Botswana, Zambia, and Zimbabwe are attending the 2026 Multiple District 412 Convention. Mwaim Tumodzi, MBC News, Salima.
Minister of Foreign Affairs George Chaponda has commended the European Union for supporting Malawi since the establishment of bilateral relations between Malawi and the European bloc. Chaponda made the remarks in Lilongwe when EU celebrated Europe Day and 50th anniversary of relations with Malawi. Details in this report by Isaac Jali.
Hundreds of European Union envoys, government officials, civil society and business leaders converged in Area 10 in Lilongwe to celebrate Europe Day, which coincided with 50th anniversary of Malawi-European Union relations. Speaking at the event, Minister of Foreign Affairs George Chaponda thanked the European Union for the support rendered over the 5 decades in areas of development and humanitarian assistance. Chaponda cited infrastructure development such as rehabilitation of the M1 road, supporting Malawi in the energy sector, education, health, connectivity and trade, skills development for the youth, renewable energy, and strengthening good governance. Chaponda observed that all the development support has been in line with Malawi's development aspirations of the Malawi 2063.
They have been indeed a friend in need, a friend indeed. We have, over the 50 years, enjoyed developments in almost all sectors, in the field of agriculture, in the field of industrialization, in the field of skills development, name whatever, they have been there. And I must say, is one of the development partners who has not reduced any assistance, and we highly commend it.
For his part, European Union Ambassador to Malawi Daniel Aristi said the EU is pleased to have provided transformative support to Malawi over the years. Ambassador Daniel Aristi said after the 50 years milestone, European Union remains firm to continue supporting Malawi. He went on to announce that approval process and discussions are at an advanced stage in Brussels, Belgium, for Europe to give Malawi 143 million euro to support 3 sectors of development, namely secondary education, energy and agriculture value chains.
We're also very lucky to celebrate 50 years of partnership between the European Union and Malawi, 5 decades of working together. And one of the things I had the opportunity to share with everyone today is the fact that discussions in Brussels are going very well to approve the next development cooperation package from the European Union to Malawi. We are looking at 143 million euro divided into three main pillars. The first one being support to agricultural value chains, the second one being electricity generation and transmission, and the third one is about support to secondary education and TVET.
On the night, European Union member states showcased their culture through food and dance. EU and Malawi established long-standing and cordial partnership in 1976 when Malawi's population was slightly over 5 million. The EU has 27 member states representing 450 million people. Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
This is MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika commends the Malawi Red Cross Society for its significant contributions to human disasters and emergency first aid across the country. Malawi hails the European Union for supporting the country since the establishment of bilateral relations between Malawi and the European bloc. In this week's special report, MBC highlights the untold stories of maternal depression, revealing how grief, fear and silence are shaping motherhood in Malawi. Welcome back. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. George Chaponda, has held an audience the High Commissioner of the Republic of South Africa to Malawi, Her Excellency Mavivi Miyakayaka Manzini. During the engagement, Dr. Chaponda expressed disheartenment and concern arising from the distress of Malawians due to the recent wave of xenophobic violence and intimidation in South Africa, particularly in the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal provinces and Johannesburg. He inquired measures that the government of the Republic of South Africa is currently undertaking to protect foreign African nationals from further attacks and intimidation and restore order. He further inquired of efforts to arrest and prosecute the vigilante groups, including those associated with Operation Dudula. He, however, noted with regret that the situation in South Africa has already compelled the government of Malawi to activate emergency repatriation plans for an initial 600 nationals, as well as the deceased and survivors of a fatal accident in the Republic of Zimbabwe who were fleeing from South Africa. In response, Her Excellency Mavivi Miyakayaka Manzini expressed gratitude to Dr. Chaponda for the engagement on the xenophobia attacks. He highlighted the long-standing relations between Malawi and South Africa, spanning back from the time gold was discovered in the country. She highlighted Malawi's contribution to the development of South Africa as part of the long connections between the two countries. She further highlighted that the government of the Republic of South Africa has deployed police officers in demonstration hot points in order to provide protection and restore order. She expressed confidence that those arrested will face the full arm of the law. Her Excellency Mavivi Miyakayaka Manzini underscored that the government of the Republic of South Africa is doing everything possible through diplomatic channels to ensure the repatriation is only voluntary and not those that are legally in South Africa. She then committed to transmit the message and concerns raised by the Honourable Minister to the leadership of the country. Maternal depression in Malawi is one of the untold and neglected issues as it hides behind the veil of strong woman smiles. Many women are praised for their strength and endurance, yet they break in silence. In this week's special report, our reporter Margaret Mapando highlights the untold stories of maternal depression from the clinic bench to the bedroom, revealing how grief, fear and silence are shaping motherhood in Malawi.
Motherhood is celebrated, but for some women it begins with silence, grief or fear. Doctors call it maternal depression, a mental health condition that affects women during pregnancy and up to a year after birth. It does not only happen after delivery. It can start during pregnancy, after miscarriage or stillbirth, or when the pressure of being a mother feels heavier than joyful. According to health experts, it is treatable, but in cases where it is not attended to, it becomes a chronic mental illness characterized by weight loss due to stress. In some cases, it leads to homicide, then suicide, with a mother killing her baby, then herself. Thousands of women are said to suffer from maternal depression across the globe. In Malawi, however, many women are said to fight maternal depression in silence. They don't know it has a name, can't describe what they're feeling, or even understand why they feel that way. The sadness, the fear, the tears feel like normal motherhood. Linley Jason is a lady residing in Area 23, Lilongwe. She miscarried at 3 months. She says no counseling was offered to her when she got pregnant. The question haunting her now is whether she will ever carry a child.
My other worry is that the doctor has told me to wait for about 6 months before trying to get pregnant again. And to prevent pregnancy during this period, they have advised me to use contraceptive methods. However, I have heard that most of these methods are not good for women. It is my wish, as well as my family's wish, to have a child. When I was pregnant, I had a miscarriage, and I'm worried that I may not be able to give birth.
But loss isn't the only trigger. For some, it's the child they do have. Jamia Samson, who gave birth to her third female child, feels like all is lost because she doesn't have a male child.
One can rely on a male child to support a family financially. But when one has female children, they tend to get married and get controlled by the husbands. And you cannot rely on them to help a family. And that's my worry.
Then there's fear of losing oneself. Eliza Joseph, who has given birth to her fourth child this year, says she fears her business will be slow as she won't be able to handle it for months after childbirth.
We meet with a lot of challenges when we give birth. I'll give an example of our business. Personally, I sell food, and one has to wait first at least 4 months before going back to the business in order to take care of the child. As it stands, no one can buy food from us.
Favor Piri suffered from postpartum depression, which occurs after childbirth. She says at first she didn't know what was going on with her. Lucky for her, she sought medical help after finding out. Piri says spousal support is crucial during this period.
Postpartum depression is real, and despite women knowing it, their partners also have to be supportive. They also have to be taught. So I would urge men to learn to understand their women when they give birth, that these things are real, and they should be more supportive and understanding that your life changes completely, and we need you to help us.
A mental health nursing officer at Baila Hospital, Nelly Gogoda, says most women do not report when they are going through changes during pregnancy. She says currently the Ministry of Health and Sanitation is disseminating information on maternal depression, urging women to open up in order to get assistance.
Currently, the district of Baila is in a progress of training every health worker to be able to assess a mother on physical and on mental health.
Executive Director of the Malawi Health Equity Network, Mehen George Jobe, acknowledged that the country has made significant progress in maternal health. He, however, says efforts to address mental health still lags behind, as the focus is on physical checks, while maternal mental health gets little attention.
We need to strengthen mental health services associated with the antenatal and the postnatal care. That is, before a woman delivers, when she is pregnant, there must be some checks on mental health. If there's anything problem and there's need for psychosocial support, that support must be given by specialists. That should also happen after childbirth. We need, therefore, to train more specialists in maternal mental health who can provide the necessary support. And we also, as a country, both government and development partners need to invest in community-based counseling.
From Favor's postpartum tears, to Linley's unanswered questions, to Jamia's grief over her daughter, and Eliza's fear of losing her business, the stories are different, but the silence is the same. The smiles hide it, the silence feeds it. Maternal depression is stealing the joys of motherhood across the country. Health experts say it is time maternal depression gets the much-needed attention. Until then, the question remains, who hears the mother when the baby stops crying? Margaret Mabando, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Ministry of Health and Sanitation says the country has registered significant progress in the fight against malaria. Minister responsible, Condolences says malaria cases have gone down by 4 million between 2024 and 2025. The minister also highlighted that the country has registered reduction in malaria deaths from 1,629 in 2024 to 623 in 2025. She was speaking in Lilongwe during the commemoration of World Malaria Day. Margaret Mapando reports.
The commemoration started with a march from the Reserve Bank of Malawi to the Ministry of Health headquarters. Minister of Health and Sanitation, Condolences, says the significant drop of 4 million cases between 2024 and 2025 reflects the early impact of the Malaria Strategic Plan 2023 to 2030, which is the country's roadmap to eliminate the disease by the end of the decade. She attributed the progress to interventions by government and its partners, such as the provision of malaria vaccines to children under 5, distribution of insecticide-treated mosquito nets, and the widespread establishment of clinics across Malawi. She added that there is need for collective efforts among stakeholders and the country at large in order to continue efforts towards malaria reduction.
So we are celebrating the progress that is there, but we are also saying we can do more. Each and every person can take responsibility, for example, by cleaning their environment so that we avoid further breeding of mosquitoes, by making sure that we are sleeping in mosquito nets. As government in 2025, we distributed over 17 million mosquito nets just to make sure that Malawians are sleeping in mosquito nets. And the President of Malawi is making sure that health of Malawians is put first.
World Health Organization representative in Malawi commended the country's progress against malaria, but said despite the decline in the trend, more work still needs to be done.
So you can imagine if 30% of the beds in children's wards are taken by children that have malaria, that tells you that the burden is still high. We have to fight malaria. But the good thing is that we have the necessary tools.
Director of Program Operations at Save the Children International, Chakufwa Muntali, says the organization is working with the Ministry of Health to expand malaria prevention interventions in schools across the country.
We say that all along as a country, we were fighting malaria, targeting the under 5 children. And children in primary schools, they were not really targeted, and they were acting as reservoirs. So with this project is targeting those learners in primary schools, and it has proven to be very, very good.
World Malaria Day is commemorated on April 25th every year. The country celebrated the day on 8th May under the theme, Driven to End Malaria, Now We Can, Now We Must. Margaret Mabando, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Human Rights Consultative Committee, HRCC, has urged business owners who are closing their shops in protest of the electronic invoicing system, EIS, to start operations, as closing the shops is negatively affecting the economic progress in the country. HRCC Executive Director Robert Mkwezalamba made the remarks at a press briefing in Blantyre. Mkwezalamba explains.
We're trying to clear the misconceptions that are there, that EIS is a new form of tax. It's not. It's just a new system that has been designed to help in the collection and the efficiency of tax management in the country. Secondly is to explain and speak to the shutdowns that have happened. We felt short-lived and disappointed on the basis that as HRCC we had led negotiations with the business community and the Malawi Revenue Authority, including getting offers from Reserve Bank of Malawi to sit with the business community on their concerns regarding Forex. What transpired in our meetings, it was that they support EIS. Their only challenge was to do with the access to Forex, which they are getting it from the alternative market. It was clear that's not the purview of Malawi Revenue Authority, so we had thought we had cleared out the issue of EIS only to learn that they had gone to shut down. We are happy that even after a final meeting with MRI yesterday, there was consensus that was made, and as it turns out, we are proceeding with the rolling out. We are speaking to the need for Malawians to support the system and ensure that they report all fraudsters, those that are behind the leakages and the declaring of VAT, among others. So It is a call to support EIS, but more importantly to ask Malawians to ensure that we collect and pay taxes to bail ourselves from the bondage of depending on debt, because if we're able to collect enough, we'll be able to support our own growth.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika commends the Malawi Red Cross Society for its significant contributions to human disasters and emergency first aid across the country. Malawi hails the European Union for supporting the country since the establishment of bilateral relations between Malawi and the European bloc. In this week's special report, MBC highlights the untold stories of maternal depression, revealing how grief, fear and silence are shaping motherhood in Malawi. You are with me, Ubile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.